Hi Taurus, welcome to your 2016 forecast. And there's an overall theme or message for you to begin the year with. And that is the quest for having a life that you really feel is worth it. And so the other side of that equation is that you could be asking yourself, are they worth it? Whatever it is in your life, is my job worth it? Is the relationship with it? Are my friends worth it? Is it really worth the effort I'm putting in? Now we start the year with all the planets moving direct, even though Mercury's in its shadow. It's been in its shadow since December with a conjunction of Pluto, which is a theme that's going on. It's powerful, beautiful Jupiter, Pluto, Mercury theme, which is think big, act big, accomplish big. Now, on the 4th, Mercury goes retrograde. It's not about not starting something new. It isn't. It doesn't mean that you could start something and stop it when Mercury goes, because it is Mercury retrograde in January, and then it doesn't go direct until January 25th. Yes, but there are things in your life that are appropriate to do for a few weeks, to put the inspiration in, set aside, and then go back to them. Think about writing and then editing. You know, editing can be something that's like, okay, I need to get back to this project. Think about like a cleanse or a fast. You don't want to fast your whole life, right? I mean, maybe some people can be breatharians, but it's inappropriate. Let me start it. So you need to listen to what feels right for you about starting the new year off with new ideas, new projects, new enthusiasm. It does mean don't get discouraged if life gets in the way and you don't have as much time as you did on the first of the year, the first week of the year. On the 7th, Jupiter is going retrograde, and Jupiter, when a planet stationed retrograde or direct, it has more power. It has more focus, like a strong beam of light. Jupiter wants to expand. And like I said, there's a beautiful Jupiter-Pluto theme that's going on for the first, on and off this whole year. And there'll be a couple of exact trines, one in March and the other one in May. Yet, all of the Mercury retrogrades which happen in Earth signs, they will all go direct at a degree between 14 and 15 degrees of the Earth sign, trining this Pluto energy, which has trined the Jupiter energy. So what does this mean for you? The fact that Mercury is going retrograde in Earth signs and you're an Earth sign is very positive, but there's a big but here. It goes into that theme about, is it worth it? Is my job worth it? Is the money I'm getting from my job worth all the hassles I'm putting up with? Is the effort that I'm putting in my relationship worth what I'm getting back? Do I feel loved? Do I feel nurtured? Do I feel cherished? And whatever that is for you, is it worth it? Now, it doesn't mean that you throw away your job or throw away your lover or throw away, maybe it's a diet, it's I only lost 2 pounds. Is it worth it? But you're eating really, really healthy. Then yes, you might not see how it's worth it. It's not about giving up, but it is about being true. And it is, Jupiter-Pluto wants the big picture. What is the big picture in your life? So a lot of this is about looking at the larger picture of your life. Now, we have a couple of major themes that are going on. March is a very active month. You can find that in March that there's a lot of activity happening to you about being out there with people, being with friends, and being pulled between what the responsibilities in your work wants versus what you want to do. We have an eclipse, a solar eclipse that's happening on March 8th. We have a lunar eclipse that is happening on the 23rd, which is the same day we have this Jupiter Saturn square. Now, Jupiter Saturn square in your chart is emphasizing once again is the energy, the effort that I am putting into other people worth the outcome, especially when it has to do with your friends, your friendships, your associations. It could be if you volunteer on a group or an organization. So is it worth it for you? Now, it's also a time where you could be looking at your banking stuff, your taxes stuff, your long-term retirement stuff, and putting a little bit more effort into either saving and getting rid of debt. Getting rid of any kind of debt you have so you can feel free. There's something about freedom from financial restriction it's not like you snap your fingers and it comes overnight. It's actually could take a couple years, but what's a couple years in the larger scheme of things? Then so we have this Saturn Jupiter energy about making things happen. Now every time we have what's called an aspect and a square and an opposition, it always goes back to the seed moment of the conjunction. Like a new moon, you always hear about new moons, start new things. Well, the planets have their own new things too. So the conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter that's being activated in March goes back to 2000, but it was in Taurus that it happened. So if you have a memory back that far, what was going on for you around May of 2000? Because this could be another activation. It's like, what else were there dreams that I was putting in place? Was there something what else can I do for that? And if not, if it's just in the collective unconscious, maybe you were 1 year old or 10 years old at that time. It's in the collective unconscious. But the Jupiter Saturn in Taurus was about having security, having beauty, having art, even luxury, just having things around you where you feel very comfortable and it can enjoy. Then Saturn in March goes retrograde. And so remember, every time a planet goes retrograde or direct, it's extra strong. And so where is it extra strong for you? It means it's extra strong in the sense of making an adjustment in your life. And part of it is a financial adjustment. Do I need to adjust? What do I adjust to? In terms of that larger theme of, is life that I'm living worth the effort and energy that I'm expending? Now, April, we got two powerful planets going retrograde, right? Remember retrograde, that hot beam? Mars in Sagittarius and Pluto and Capricorn within a day of each other, the 17th and the 18th. And this energy for you, so once again, Mars in Sagittarius is activating where Saturn is for you, about making adjustments, but it's also about financial future, financial responsibility, and it's also about going deep, being willing to look at the secrets of your soul and do some spiritual growth, soul growth. When we move into April, we're coming into a time right before your birthday that if you can take some time out, that would be really great. Because it is about, before your birthday, it is about releasing energy. And we have, that releasing energy of letting things go and rethinking. And we do have Mercury going retrograde in your sign on the 28th of April. So it goes retrograde at 23 degrees of Taurus, which is activating that 22 degree of the Jupiter-Pluto conjunction that happened in 2000, which is one of this larger theme. And that quest again, is what I'm doing worth it? It doesn't mean necessarily that you'll change your job immediately, but making these adjustments, because there's been this adjustment energy. It may not be tomorrow, but it may be next year. Or maybe in next month, or at the end of the year. So it may not be immediate, but what adjustments can you make? Some of the adjustments can be how you think about things. On May 9th, we have Jupiter going direct. This Jupiter going direct in Virgo is that reminder, okay? Because we have this theme that's going on for you. Is it worth it? Am I having fun yet? Is it fun? It's so strong for you. It's like, yes, most of us, how many people on the planet were born into a life of privilege where they never had to work? I haven't met it. Oh, I have met maybe a couple of people, but I've met a lot of people, thousands of people. Most of us have an occupation or are a support person for someone else. We do, and even if money isn't an issue, there's your life to do. There is your expression of yourself. And with this Jupiter going direct in the middle of May is emphasizing once again, am I having fun yet? Is what I'm doing in life, is it worth it, and is it fun? And how can I put joy back into my life? Very, very powerful question. And not upset everything else that's important to you. The security, whatever it is, the things around you that you want, your responsibilities. That, again, is emphasized, once again, that started in March with the Jupiter square Saturn at the end of May 26th. And then when we shift into June, right? So we're shifting into June. It's a month after your birthday, and you can start to feel a little bit freer financially, and you can find some things that you want to buy, want to do. Actually, April and May and part of June can be more expenditure months, feeling a little bit more freer financially. June has some pretty interesting energy. We have the Saturn square Neptune, which we had November of 2015, which was part of the activation of the terrorist attack in Paris. Not like there's has to be another terrorist. That's a mundane thing. This is for you. So but the Saturn Neptune on a personal level, and it plays out collectively too on the planet, but on a personal level is about one, the shadows, the difficult side of the energy is feeling disappointed or despair. Because Saturn brings out what isn't working. Saturn can be tough. Saturn can be depression. And Neptune it's like, oh, my hopes and dreams dissolved. That's like the negative side of that energy that can happen. And we're human. People experience. There's tragedy that does happen. And people can feel heartfelt, very heartfelt and sad and lonely and despair at times. But the high side of this energy is saying, look at your dreams, your visions. Look what hasn't manifested. Saturn wants to manifest things. And Saturn says it can take work. So you can confront all these things that you thought were going to happen, manifest about, but it hasn't. And for you personally, some of it can be financial. Some of it might be some of your financial freedom that you had hoped to achieve by wherever you are in life, whatever age, whatever circumstances you are. And whatever that financial means, and not just a number in the bank. Sometimes it might be, but it's about being able to experience a certain lifestyle, have certain freedom in your life, feeling of security in your life. And part of it is where you may feel that some of your dreams, or even people that you love or care about, or just even associates, workers, people you work with, where you might feel a little bit disappointed that perhaps you've given more and it's not equal. But it is about manifesting, working hard towards your dreams. And in the same month, we got that Jupiter-Pluto energy, which is very supportive for you about creating your dreams being big. At the end of June, Mars goes direct in Scorpio. Now, here is one thing. This Mars goes retrograde in Sagittarius, but then it dips back into Scorpio opposite your sign. And so for several weeks, when Mars is in Scorpio opposite your sign, this is true especially if you were born the last week of Taurus, of the Taurus cycle, you're in the last quarter of Taurus. You can feel more aggravated. You can feel, I really got to get going more, push more, and maybe feel more challenged in life. As we move through the year, okay, as we're moving through this year, and the summertime, the end of July, there can be more spiritual enlightenment time. The couple of weeks of end July, the first couple of weeks of August would be fabulous for you if you can take some time off just to get away, to develop your spiritual growth, to read books, to go to a seminar, to go whatever, speaks to you. It's a very, very significant time of opening and insight, sudden insight that can happen. We have a shift in August where Saturn is going direct, and Saturn is moving direct again at a point where at 9 degrees of Sagittarius. And again, that is, what have I done about my finances, long-term finances, and are things equal? Do I have those dreams? You might not really feel things put into place until September. Maybe that can be a time where you start to kick up if you're looking for another position, another job. The times for those changes for you can be around the May time, and again September time, and then again in November. End of November, December time of 2016. So September has a lot of very strong elements going on it. There's 2 eclipses that are happening. The eclipse energy again are activating this sense of putting things in place for you, where you feel that your expression of who you are, what you're doing, is worth it, is significant for you. Your love life kicks up in September time. Now, the love life energy is part of this. Love life energy is not just romantically, although it includes that. It includes what you love. What do you love to do? So in September, it could be a good time to take a vacation. If your schedule allows, it could be a good time to get back to a hobby that you love to do. And if you're not in a relationship, then the September time is a very strong time to either meet somebody or get closer to somebody you care about, somebody that you are in a relationship with, to create it more romantic, to create it stronger. In September, we also have Jupiter, which has been in Virgo, moving out of Virgo. Earth sign has been good for you, into Libra. Now, the Libra energy is Jupiter in Libra, wants balance, relationships, harmony. But for you, part of that energy is about balance and harmony in your day-to-day life, your day-to-day schedule. So do you have it? And if not, what can you do about it? And part of it will be is to have a relationship, whatever relationship you're in or want to be in in sync, in harmony with what you want to do, with your schedule of life. This Jupiter-Pluto, which has been so significant because of the Mercury retrogrades and Earth signs for you, and trine, now is going to square Pluto in November. So it squares Pluto at 15 degrees of Libra to the 15 degrees of Capricorn where Pluto will be. So it's activating the big dream energy. But it's a push. It's another push. I need to get going. It's the end of November, November 24th. Big push to activate that. And then by the end of the year, on December 26th, Jupiter will be opposite Uranus. And that goes back to a conjunction that we had in Aries. We had it in Aries twice. Conjunctions can happen 3 times. And it was in end of Pisces too. And the conjunction began with this message from the universe that was about being authentically true to ourselves. If you do what is right for you, you will do what is right for the others, those that you love, but you have to be true to yourself. It's not about being selfish, but it's about being for self, the truth of self. So there's this push, there's this expansion at the end of December of 2016 that says, hey, how well have you been? How much have you accomplished? How much have you grown spiritually about being true to yourself, true to your higher self, and on what is true for you? And so we close the year out with Uranus, which is sudden insights for you that can come from places you don't expect, opening up your psychic powers, your intuitive powers, and that wisdom and knowledge that can crack the cosmic egg of being able to manifest the larger picture, the bigger dreams of your life. Thank you so much for checking in, and please do subscribe, comment, let me know what you think, and I appreciate it. Happy New Year.